Hey, you don't need to be balanced to be successful. You just need rhythm. This might not be the most popular topic, or people might not agree with me, but trying to split yourself evenly between everything, well, it usually seems to make you feel like you're behind on all of it, right? And when you chase balance, and I know there's a lot of stuff out there where balance is the goal, right? But a lot of times when you go and chase that, you become more frustrated. You become more overwhelmed. And just because life, it's meant to be lived, I guess not in equal slices. Life shifts, and you think about it. Work picks up, people change, health requires more focus. Trying to keep all those plates spinning equally, that can be exhausting. Am I right? Okay, so I think you get where I'm going here, and that's what we're going to talk about on today's podcast. But before we get into all that great stuff, make sure you head over to talktoperry.com. I've got that right down there in the lower third. That's where my calendar is wide open for podcast listeners and viewers like you. Let's recharge that mental and physical battery of yours and get you back on track with what matters most, the very things we're going to talk about today. We do that in 15 minutes. Talktoperry.com. So, hey, what do you focus on instead of balance? Create rhythm. Rhythm. The ebb and flow, where it's where your energy goals and you schedule work together. They're maybe not perfectly, but they're in a way that supports your life. And you might be in a season where maybe work feels heavier. Maybe your to-do list is a bit more huge, but that doesn't mean that you drop your health, And I think a lot of times people will, we talk about priorities, and people will drop things off, but they're still in this thing where it's like, oh, I got to get back to that. I got to get back to that, and they're always striving for this balance. What if you just made things just work for you so that you can be more consistent? That was the big aha for me when I realized that I was, here I am again. I've got some work, business goals for the year. I've got some health goals for the year. I've definitely got some work goals, relationship goals, things I want to accomplish, and just doing many different areas of life. And I realized that there were some that just got put down to the bottom, and I would be striving for it, but it would be like I'd never take action on it. Yet I wanted it. It's like, oh my gosh, I got to have this balance. So I started looking at where can I just make things more in flow with where my life is and what I've been doing, as opposed to trying to make everything perfect. So for you, this might mean food choices, just simple food choices to stay fueled. Rhythm, it lets you shift priorities without the guilt. And I think for a lot of us, we'll have these big goals and then we'll feel guilty. We won't say it out loud. Our little secret self inside kind of gives us that feeling. But this gives you the space to breathe while you're still staying aligned with your goals. And that was a big thing for me. I just kept becoming aware of when I'm trying to talk myself out of exercise, becoming aware when I was trying to negotiate with letting myself off the hook, trying to be aware of when I was letting external circumstances dominate the very things that I wanted to go after. I'm like, why does it have to be one or the other? Why can't I just interject this more easily and work on my goals? Even if it was, let's say my health and fitness goals, if I couldn't commit to the whole 30 minutes, why can't I commit to 15 minutes? And really question those thoughts when I was having them, saying, oh, but you're not giving it your all. You're not putting in full effort. So why even bother? That was the story I was having. So start by asking yourself, where is your energy being drained most right now? Is it decision fatigue? That happens to a lot of people. Is it a packed calendar? Is it trying to be everything to everyone? And then ask, this is a big one. Then ask yourself, what's one area, one thing that I can simplify this week to support where I want to go? I know. You might want to accomplish it all. Like one thing, is that really going to matter? Yes. So this could be prepping meals, for the next 3 to 5 days. That's what I used to do. I was like, you know what? I need to get in this groove of having quick grab and go meals at lunch, as opposed to just winging it during lunchtime, and they usually weren't that healthy. So I would use Sundays. I'd meal prep, pop it in a freezer, and I have quick, I have that grab and go. And while it may not have been the most convenient time to do that on a Sunday, it really didn't take that much time at all. Maybe it could be just picking two non-negotiables, where you're saying, no matter what, I'm showing up for my workout, and if it doesn't time out to the exact time that I want to get into the gym, I'll be flexible with it. Maybe for you, it might be just saying no to one thing that's been feeling heavy, something that really has been overwhelming to you. Something that something that refuels you, right? The thing is, you're not lazy, you're not unmotivated. You're just probably spreading yourself too thin and then waiting for the perfect time to reset everything. And you're thinking, I've got to get motivated. I got to get the perfect moment. And that perfect time rarely comes. Or even when the perfect time comes, you don't act on it. You hesitate, you question it. Rhythm, it really starts when you stop waiting, stop waiting for things to calm down, and you really start adjusting based on what life actually looks like at the time. So, I encourage you, take a look at your calendar, find one place where you can protect time for yourself. For me, I realized that I was always after an hour commute home, trying to talk myself out of working out. I realized that I was telling myself, oh, you got to sit down and chill for a while, unwind after a long day, and then maybe you'll go and get your workout done. And I rarely did. So I used that time, the sit down time. I just said, you know what? Why don't you just make it an extended part of your workday? Get your workout done. Then it'll be done. Now I resisted that. My brain resisted it. My body did. But I just said, you know what? I'm going to commit at least 15 minutes. And that worked for me. For you, maybe it's a 15-minute empowerment moment in the morning. Maybe it's taking a walk during lunch, like my sister does. Maybe, it's that protected time that becomes part of your rhythm. And you don't need to overhaul your entire life to make progress. You just need clear direction and fewer moving pieces. How would that feel? Right? That's why this balance thing, it doesn't really work, or, you can get close, but it can feel exhausting. And, it's just even asking, where can I have even effort across the board? Where rhythm, it works because it asks, what matters most right now? And how can we support that? So stop asking yourself to do it all and just start asking to do what matters most today. That's why I always say, just do today. And really, without running yourself into the ground. In your schedule, that your schedule, and take a radical, honest look at it. It can support your goals, but it has to work with your energy, not against it. And when you're mentally fried, which some of us are, right? Your body's going to follow. But when your body is worn out, your focus slips, your rhythm. But having that rhythm, it protects both. So, just know you can choose to use your power and take control and really, get into this where you realize you don't have to fix everything today. You just need to stop trying everything all at once and drop the pressure, ease up, really just get into that flow and rhythm, because progress can happen without burnout, right? And you can use that and really take control, or you can let the excuses, justifications, procrastination, all that stuff control you and drain your power. It really boils down to deciding and committing to yourself and your goals and choosing to figure out new ways, looking at possibilities, learning and growing, and keep moving forward. I'd love to hear your top takeaway from today. You can drop those down in the comments. I promise I will reply. You absolutely rock, my friend. And as always, remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week. That's another Power Blast podcast in the books. Thanks so much for tuning in. And remember, when you are ready to recharge your battery, make sure you go to talktoperry.com. That's talktoperry.com. That's Perry. And I want to listen. I want to hear, what's going on. I want to help you in that 15-minute call to recharge your battery and reclaim your power so that you're off and running and creating massive momentum toward your dream. Also, every day, I am delivering more motivation, support, tips, and strategies inside my free community with amazing people like yourself. And we are conquering the mindset and the fitness. I do 52 weeks of free training in there. Plus, I coach and I mentor people, as well as give you access to tons of resources and guides. It's called my Upside Down Fitness community because we work on a lot of mindset stuff, the inside stuff. And we're a fun group of people striving to make healthier habits in this awesome chapter of life. So make sure you get in there. I promise you'll absolutely love it. Just head over to upsidedownfit.com and you can get into the group. And hey, you would be an awesome friend if you get over to iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcast and leave an honest rating and review for the Power Blast podcast. It helps awesome people like you find the show even faster, and that's who I'm looking for, awesome people like you. That's all I have for this week, my friend, and just to let you know, you absolutely rock. That's all I have for this week. I'll see you on the next Power Blast podcast, and always remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week.